Welcome back to 02 Million Crypto. My name is GC. You're live. Yes, we are live. Joining me as I'm on my way to play some sports. Today, let's talk about a few different topics in the crypto market. The most important one, which is also breaking news right now, 3 hours ago, a federal judge has agreed with the SEC's ruling that secondary Coinbase cryptocurrency sales were securities. Now, why is this important, and why is this kind of like a base layer why is Coinbase rather a base layer kind of sentiment for the rest of the crypto market? So whenever Coinbase gets into something with the SEC or governmental kind of regulation, you can kind of use it as a base layer for the rest of the crypto market and what to expect for the rest of the government agencies, particularly the SEC, to go after the rest of the crypto industry. Coinbase is an American company, and the thing that's important to understand is when you have Coinbase kind of being looked at by America's regulators, it's going to serve as an overall grand spectrum of how the rest of the crypto world is going to react based on the security regulations in their own countries. It's kind of like not the exact same kind of scenario, but it's almost like when something in America happens, the rest of the world is affected. Kind of like how when America printed all the money about 4 years ago through the Federal Reserve, at the end of the day, you could say the Federal Reserve is a separate entity than the American government itself. But at the end of the day, this entity comes out of the United States. So when the Federal Reserve is printing all this money, the rest of the world has to follow, or their financial systems will go belly up. So any country can have their own type of system of financiality, if that's even a word, own system of money. But at the end of the day, everything is basically a read and react kind of scenario when it comes to these larger countries, especially the United States of America, pulling strings when it comes to, inflation, how much money is being printed, what kind of period of time we're entering into when it comes to rate cuts and rate hikes. I mean, the Federal Reserve can hike rates and the entire world is affected, and the opposite could happen. They could cut rates and the entire world is affected in the opposite way. So you have these governmental regulators, primarily the SEC, and the fact that the SEC kind of is pointing a finger at Coinbase saying, hey, look, these guys sold secondary coins on the market, on a centralized exchange rather, and most of the people buying these coins are only buying them due to speculation of the price increasing. And in one way, you can argue that that's true. I mean, buying these very, very small market cap coins, especially coins that have just entered the market, when you have big money, a small amount or a small percentage of your wealth entering into a coin, let's say, that has just been created, so has barely any money into it, a market cap of, let's say, less than 100 million, even that's shooting too high for a coin that basically had just entered the market. Even a small, let's say, for example, 200 million enters that coin. Well, the coin has just tripled. because if it was at 100 million and 200 million flows into it, that's 100 million times 2, and then another times 2 from 100 million. So a 3x from that standpoint, if you will. And the problem with that is you have a small group of people that can put money into a coin or invent a coin, rather, and a large entity or a large sum of money enter into the coin, basically and technically hyping up the coin, showing that, oh, this coin might be the new big thing, might be have fundamentals underlying that people just haven't researched yet. But that's not really the case when it comes to coins that have just entered the market or really small market cap coins. Basically, the term for this is micro cap, and micro caps are considered to be coins under a certain amount of market cap, but we're talking about coins that are so small that shouldn't even be considered micro caps to some degree. And of course, every coin is different. Every crypto project is different, all basically stemming down from the top dog Bitcoin, which people don't know to this day who the actual inventor of it was, compared to cryptocurrencies and networks that are coming out now, where if a team is not vetted, if people don't know who the creator of the team or of the coin is, rather, they're not going to invest in it because they don't trust it in the first place. So we are in two different worlds when it comes to coins that have been around and cryptocurrencies that have been around for years now and have kind of built a name and reputation for themselves, compared to coins, especially meme coins, which we're going to talk about later in this video. Those kind of coins are the perfect examples of coins that, may just come out of the blue and on a whim have millions of dollars put into it. And meme coin, like I said, meme coins are the perfect examples of that. Not saying every coin that's a micro cap that's being hyped up is a meme coin. Some of these coins may not actually have strong fundamentals and having money thrown into them, but the fact of the matter is, Coinbase is going to be targeted because they're the largest exchange pretty much in the world. They're custodians of a large percentage of the crypto market. A lot of people that are invested into crypto don't even understand that if you don't have your cryptocurrency on your own personal wallet, you don't really own it. So Coinbase owns a majority of the crypto, a large, or maybe not a majority, but a large percentage of the cryptocurrency in the entire world. So the SEC looking at Coinbase and saying, "Hey, look at what you're doing. You're selling all these tiny coins and giving people the opportunity to invest in coins that don't really have, don't really have a lot of, fundamentals behind them, or whatever the case may be, whatever the argument may be for a cryptocurrency or any asset to be a security." This is what's going to kind of bridge a gap between cryptocurrencies and networks that are actually worth anything and cryptocurrencies that could actually be harmful, and finally show to prove in some way that the SEC is actually looking out for the best interest of the purchaser of the asset, rather than kind of just wanting to control investment markets or any type of asset in general by any means necessary, without having to give too much reasoning behind it. So very interesting time we're in right now. The way I see it, if you're investing into Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything in the top 10, I would like to say anything in the top 100, but that's not true either, because we're seeing a meme coin frenzy right now that is bringing coins that are just based on hype and name recognition to the forefront, to the top 100 in the last, let's say half a year. Meme coins have kind of regained some of the strength that they've lost since 2021, or since before this bear market, this most recent bear market even began, which I do believe has ended or had ended in November of 2022. We're just seeing the fruits of investing into crypto finally come to fruition. If you've been an investor for at least the last 3 years or so, you'll understand what I'm saying. If you're a new investor, you may not, if you haven't been investing, let's say in the last year or two, if you have been investing rather in the last year or two, you may not remember or may not have been there for the more catastrophic drops that we saw since the beginning of 2022, all the way maybe till before Bitcoin and the crypto market finally has started to show some life and resurged a little bit. So yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrencies, let's say in the top 20, I would say, they're actually probably worth a lick, and they're not going to be targeted as badly as some of these other cryptocurrencies that are really, much further down the list of the top 100, maybe in the top 500 or top 1,000. The lower you go on the list, the more risky it gets. And, the SEC has perfect ammunition by looking at a exchange like Coinbase, which is supposed to be like one of the more trusted exchanges, one of the most popular and mainstream exchanges. If they're the ones being targeted, then you can imagine they're the ones being targeted by government agencies. You can bet your bottom dollar that the SEC now has more leeway to go after some of these smaller and what some would say more shadier exchanges. It's going to be a tough road if you are, let's say, a small exchange trying to gain traction or gain some ground and make a name for yourself in the cryptocurrency markets in general. It's going to be difficult for you to, grow your exchange from the ground up as of right now. The main point of all of this is that Gary Gensler was kind of being looked at as just a man that is trying to stifle innovation. But if federal judges are agreeing with his sentiment and his outlook and the overall SEC's attack points on cryptocurrency and why regulation has to kind of move slower, and people should take, people should have a double take before actually investing into cryptocurrency in general. Now we're in a world where but if you're saying or looking at a federal judge, any federal judge for that matter, siding with the side of the SEC, well, we're going to have tough days ahead when it comes to regulation, and it's not going to be just the flicking of a switch, rather, of cryptocurrencies, big or small, kind of getting more regulatory freedom. Now, that's a big topic that I wanted to cover, and obviously there's a lot more we could speak about when it comes to that. We're in an adaptive kind of world when it comes to money, especially cryptocurrency in general. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on the regulatory side of things. But like I said, if you're investing in some of these large caps, like, for example, I'll just name a few: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, I would say Dogecoin, but regulators are just going to look at it in a different light because of the fact that it is a meme coin, even though it's been around for years. Even cryptocurrencies like Chainlink, in my opinion, these cryptocurrencies are kind of, in my opinion, home free from regulatory scrutiny, only because they've been around for a little while and the utility behind some of these coins is undeniable, and there's such a large following, let alone people throwing their money and actually investing into these coins, that the SEC would have a hard time taking down something like Ethereum or unfortunately to say, in my opinion, even Solana at this point, even though I think Solana is a coin a perfect target for crypto regulation, because when you have something like, an ecosystem like Solana that's constantly shutting down having network outages, I don't think that is I don't think that is built, that ecosystem, that network, that cryptocurrency as a whole is built as a system, strong enough as a system rather, to be a cryptocurrency of the future. And if I was the SEC, if I was Gary Gensler, I would be targeting something like Solana when it comes to some of these bigger coins on the market. But that's just my opinion, and we're not exactly sure what to expect with a coin like Solana, because we don't really know if the problems will be fixed, or if it will be if it will continue to be a chain that has these fantastic pumpamentals, as I like to call it, where the coin can increase so rapidly and so viciously in short periods of time, even though the fundamentals don't seem to be as strong as other cryptocurrency blockchains like Cardano and Ethereum, for example. The second topic I wanted to talk about today, sorry, just having a sip of coffee. The second topic I wanted to talk about today is President Bukele from El Salvador has reported that out of the entirety of his crypto holdings, his Bitcoin holdings, he is up 40% on every purchase as of right now. Now, when Bukele was buying cryptocurrency, or excuse me, buying Bitcoin, I believe it was in 2021 and 2022, he was buying it at a period of time when there was a lot of fear and there was a lot of blood in the markets, not just Bitcoin, but all markets, and to kind of take a stab at Bitcoin, kind of, tell the people of his country, hey, we're going to throw a large majority of our treasury into Bitcoin and see where it takes us. A lot of people probably were on board at the time and probably agreeing with some of Bukele's ideas, simply due to the fact that fiat currency hasn't really done much for countries kind of similar to El Salvador. I mean, you have countries like Venezuela that are basically in hyperinflation mode. You have other countries like Argentina that are kind of in a very similar situation, where the money in their country, their currency for their country has inflated so much that basically they're all living in a completely broken system financially, and there's no way out of it without complete reform. And there was probably a lot of people in El Salvador that knew fiat currency as a whole. Like I said, maybe not specifically in El Salvador as bad as some of these other countries, specifically in South America, but people understand that fiat currency isn't working, and maybe trusting Bitcoin isn't the greatest idea, because it's not really to some people proven in a financial aspect. But people that understand Bitcoin and cryptocurrency cycles, for that matter, understand that Bitcoin has proven itself, and maybe people in places like El Salvador are going along with this whole Bitcoin idea just because they're not quite sure what to believe anymore. Maybe they're so fed up with fiat currency that they're willing to try anything different. And for people that watch this channel, probably, or people that are into cryptocurrency and understand the value of it, they're going to understand that cryptocurrency, the simple idea of it, compared to this dying fiat financial system that we're in, these traditional systems that we're in, fiat loses to cryptocurrency by miles and miles, because at least with cryptocurrency, you can be your own bank. You can take financial ownership over your own currencies, over your own money. It doesn't have to be the currency of your country. Rather, it could be a cryptocurrency of your choosing, and you are deciding to hold that cryptocurrency, even knowing that the price could increase or decrease at any given time without any given notice. Another thing that we have to understand as people that invest in cryptocurrency is there are such things as stable coins. And a lot of people probably in countries like El Salvador don't understand cryptocurrency enough to know that there's a whole market in cryptocurrency. Basically, the purpose of it, the function of it, is to take your money out of fiat, but still be able to hold a cryptocurrency that kind of holds the value that a fiat currency would hold. People that saw Bukele putting all this money into Bitcoin, not really, all they really knew about it was that it's a volatile asset that could either increase tenfold or decrease tenfold in a short matter of time. Kind of gives people, kind of makes people nervous, because if Bitcoin somehow fails, then their country's treasury could be in jeopardy. And this is one of those things where trusting in whatever system that you're going to live under, when you don't have a complete say on or even have a vote on whether this system would be beneficial or not, could be a scary thing. And Bukele coming out and showing everybody in his country and showing the world, like, hey, these are all my buys. This is every time I bought into Bitcoin. Even though the price went down at first, it came back, and now we're almost halfway, or 50%. They're at 40% in the profit, but that round number, 40%, is almost like being 50% higher than what you bought it at. So you could say, we're 1.5 more of what we put into it in the first place, and that is such a breath of a sigh of relief, rather, for his people in El Salvador, showing that, hey, we took a chance on this Bitcoin thing, and look, it's paying dividends now. And it's probably it was probably the best, probably not the best bet at the time, since it went down at first, but look, we're having a long-term outlook on this cryptocurrency thing, and it's seeming to be the better system. So I applaud President Bukele for buying the Bitcoin that he did. I think he is going to set El Salvador up for the future, and he's been in talks of having something kind of like a Bitcoin city. And just the fact that you have a politician in such a high place of power for his own nation, and deciding, hey, let's take this money that we have, let's put it into Bitcoin. Let's see where the algorithm takes us, and we could be a much richer country amongst some of these nations around us that are in complete panic mode when it comes to their finances and currently going through hyperinflation. So the third topic I wanted to talk about today was meme coins. And there seems to be a meme coin frenzy as of right now. This is one of the hardest things to explain to anybody that doesn't understand cryptocurrency or hasn't followed it for a significant amount of time. And, seeing these meme coins go up in value so rapidly in such a short period of time, and seeing pretty much every meme coin go up at the same time seems kind of suspicious to people that aren't really keen on cryptocurrency in general. But people aren't going to understand why people would even put their money into these types of coins and risk their hard-earned wealth into something so speculative. But what we have to understand is people are so fed up with fiat money and don't trust it so strongly anymore. People are willing to take their money and say, hey, I'd rather put my money into something like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, because even though it could decrease 99%, if I put it at the right time, it could change my life forever. And, this mentality isn't really mainstream enough for people to even grasp how strongly you could change your life based on putting money into a coin with a dog's face on it. But this is reality now. We're in 2024. We saw a meme coin frenzy in 2021, but now there's meme coins coming out of the floodgates, and it's an interesting time that we're in because, you know, there's Dogecoin, there's Shiba Inu, there's all these new dog coins coming out now. There is Pepe, there's all these different meme coins, kind of animal-based coins coming out on every single exchange known to mankind right now, and it's kind of difficult to, you know, kind of navigate through these types of markets where there's so much speculation, and everything seems to be so unclear as to how and why these coins are even gaining traction, even gaining value, or even like hitting the mainstream, or people getting their eye on it or talking about it in any manner. But there's no turning back now. This is the world we live in, and meme coins seem to be here to stay. I mean, my favorite cryptocurrency is a meme coin, and I wouldn't necessarily trust some of these other meme coins further down the list. But hey, if you put your money into Shiba Inu, for example, and make money off of it, who am I to say that, you know, who am I to say that, or who am I to judge someone making money off that? And who am I to say that it's risky to put your money in cryptocurrency or any cryptocurrency, even if it is a meme coin, when fiat money is so so weak fundamentally, and in my opinion on its way out, that there are so many different ways to make money in crypto, and there are so many different ways to go from 0 to $1 million as well.